Hey YouTube, it's Matt with Reptiles, and today we are going to be working with my oldest and my first rattlesnake. So I don't know exactly how old this guy is. We can see his cage is due for a cleaning. And these cages, they tend to get a little worse than, say, a ball python cage. Well, because they can do that. And so I kind of wait till it needs a full cleaning rather than spot as we go, pull it out, and they get a very frequent full cleaning because of that. So today we're going to remove the snake. I'll show you how we do that, clean the cage, and return it to a nice cage. This is probably the worst time to handle this snake because, well, he's due to shed any day, but I got some help here. We're going to make a video, and it ain't going to hurt him to come out. So out he's going to come. We're going to show you can handle these even when they're a little cantankerous. So a little bit about this snake first of all. What is he? If you're not familiar with rattlesnakes, this is a timber rattlesnake. It is a variety out of Oklahoma, so he comes from the Stillwater area. He was legally wild collected. So in Oklahoma, they can be collected with a license, which the license was in possession. He was collected. We have landowner contact and all of that for where he's collected from, yada, yada, yada. And we made sure we were on the up and up on what we were doing. It is a male. We did sex it after we got it, made sure we had a male. We do not want to remove female timbers from the wild. They breed very, very slowly, and they only produce a small number of babies. So like, you may get somewhere between like 5 and 12 from one of these. And in the wild, it may be only every 2 to 3 years, whereas a Western is going to be like 12 to 18 and go yearly. So taking a female out of a population hurts a lot more than it does, say, a Western. So we wanted to make sure we had a male. We don't know his exact age because we got him out of the wild. I've had him since, I want to say, 2015. So he is the first venomous I ever owned. And we're going to pull him out today and clean. You're going to go hide from me. And I got Kevin from Flat Mountain to help me. Now, Kevin, you're not really, this isn't your bag right here, is it?
No, it's not.
So if you have any questions about what we're doing or why I'm doing it, or what we watched for in these, or just about this species of snake in general, let me know. Now, he made my job more difficult because he decided to go in his hole, which gives him an advantage, right? Kind of. I bet. Let's try something. Now, he can't strike out of there unless he's striking out of the front door. So I can help him along. Now, if I was really smart, what I would do, and what I would suggest that you do if you become a venomous keeper and you want to be smarter than me, is set up some kind of locking hide. So when he goes in there, you can close a door, and this is a sealed hide box. If you do that, you can then just hook the entire box and take it out, clean while he's in there. He's locked up. In my case, it's not how this is, so now I have to deal with the snake in a hide. So how are we going to do that? Well, one, not with our hands, right? Doing that with our hands would be really bad. They do make some things like that, although this will give me an opportunity maybe to fish some of this crap out of the cage. Because while he's in there, I can see his nose. And if I go in front of that cage, he has every ability to light me up. So we don't want that to happen. So we're going to just touch him there. Get his rock out. The rock is in there, so he has something to set on like he naturally would, as far as like getting some heat and sunlight. Now, the more stuff I have out of his cage, the easier this gets because he can't really wrap around those items and cause me problems. So we get all that out. So now that's almost all out. I'm going to borrow those tongs right beside you. We're just going to try to remove his entire hide with the tongs. So tongs aren't always about being mean and grabbing a snake. Sometimes they're about getting equipment out of there. Come on out of there. All right. So now as you can see, his cage is empty. And so now I can work a lot easier. Put those bad boys back. Now I could try to work from here, but not a good spot. That was good for getting the stuff out. We're going to close out. That way I can be as close as I want, as safe as I want with where that snake is. I'm going to try to work from over here, trying to keep all of me behind this. If I don't want to get my parts in there in his strike range, which you got to figure their strike range is about half their body length. So whenever I work with one of these, I know their strike range is about half their body length. I've also seen them push off of things and lean further. I try to give the snake its full body length. Give it double what you need to give it when you can, and you're going to be better. So we're just going to try to get the hook on it, like so. And you can feel how stiff he is. So you should be feeling the snake now. Reading his body movements. He's stiff. He's staying in a position. This is not exactly what I want to see. But with a little bit of work, he'll likely calm down. The other thing is be patient when you work these guys. This isn't a race, right? See, there he goes, calming down. Oh, I missed my opportunity. My hands were in the wrong spot. My opportunity was hoping to grab his tail. There, I got it. I got to watch him as he's going to try to come around there. See, I don't like he's coming back there. My hand's still on this side of the glass where he can't bite me. I don't want to cross that threshold where you could get that look. Now, as the snake moves, that can also change where I choose to work from. In this case, it is. So now I'm going to come and work from over here. Again, he dictates how I do this. This is all up to him. The only rule is I have to win this fight. You know, come out. That'd make this really easy. Come on. Come on out. It's okay. Oh, you don't want to do that? Okay. See, now we are in a really good position. I can just get him out of there. He is a big, strong snake, so you got to kind of just work with it. And there he is. We're going to put him in the trash can. Put him in the trash can. Now, there you go. Now you're going to look and say, well, he was way closer than half his body length to you. He was, but they're not as strong as some heavy-bodied snakes. So when I've got that tail, he doesn't have a hard time really launching up and really biting me. So not a lot of worry there. Feeling good about what I'm doing. Push on that, listen for the latch. There it is. And we're going to just put this to the side. And when I go to get him out, I'll tell you why we chose that. We're going to do some cleaning. We'll be right back. We are now all done, and a couple things about why we set things up the way we set up. So we're kind of doing this as a little bit of a how-to. First of all, we'll start with my hook. Why is my hook on top of the trash can I'm using? This isn't a screw-down bucket. Screw-down bucket, this isn't needed, but anytime I'm using something that's just a snap-down or anything like that, I think could possibly come open for any reason whatsoever, I like to set something on top of it. It's not about the weight. This isn't that heavy, but it's about if that were to come open, that should fall off, and I should know. Like, it's going to roll off. I want to know if that's coming open, obviously. A couple things on the inside of the cage while we set up what we do. One, we give the snake a hide in case it wants to be somewhere private. Two, this is just coconut, ground coconut. Reptile Prime is the brand we're using. Really high-end good stuff, holds moisture very well. We have moistened it pretty good because there's a lot of heat that comes in, it'll dry it out. So we want to add pretty good moisture also because that snake, like I say, is going to shed in the next few days. Over here, you're going to find a rock. Now this is just a rock I found outside. Looked like it fit. I cooked it to kill anything on it in the oven for a long time, let it cool off, put it in here. The point of this is in the wild, these guys will kind of be on hillsides a lot, and they're going to come out of rocky outcrops and things like that, and they're going to often sun on a rock. So underneath that rock right here, ooh yeah, I've got my, that's not as warm as it used to be. I may have knocked it off and checked that. We may actually be needing to replace that for the first time ever, because it's still putting out heat, but not as much as it used to. I've had it for probably, well, since I got him, so it's lasted 7 years now. My ceramic heat emitter looks just like that. Yeah, I'll just have to make sure I didn't lose the plug-in when I was moving stuff around because that happens sometimes, or bump it off. But we run a ceramic heat emitter to provide the heat source there, so that's where our heat comes from. This is just a light for display. It's on a timer, it kicks on day and night cycle. Since it's wild caught, that just kind of helps him, you know, relax and think things are normal. So that's kind of it. These things in here are just kind of for decoration. It's just a deer antler, and again, a piece of wood I kind of just like the look of. These, you know, you don't need them. They will rub on them to help shed. It's not uncommon that I will find pieces of skin started to stick here as he's rubbed the shed off. So they do help for that. That's kind of their whole point. So now it's time to put this snake back in. And we simply will do it in reverse. So I'm going to start on that end. That's my preferred end to work on. I'm going to open this. Be careful when you open it not to flip the whole trash can because it is snapped. But you also just want to kind of start it. I don't want to actually open it. Now that it's started, it never has opened where the thing could bite me. I'm going to use my tool to pick it up, see where the snake's at, make sure it's safe, and then go ahead and open it the rest of the way. Snake's down there in the bottom right where I want him. Typically when I'm putting snakes back in an enclosure like this, I don't like a very large opening. The reason is I like to get them started, let them kind of go back home on their own. And when you do this, they go in, they come right back out. So we're going to shrink that down to right about there. Right there. That's what we're going to work with, and we're going to try that. Now to get him out of here, this is where a bucket is easier, but a trash can I feel is safer. I'm going to have to get him up where I can grab a hold of him. He is a rather big timber rattlesnake. So, really, dude? What I really want is not this, but it may work that way anyway. Actually, that's what I want. Don't you come up that way, though. Hey. Well, you know what? If you just want to do it that way, that'll work. So sometimes it's unconventional, but it works like fine. You just gotta be patient with them. And here's the point where you get them started in. This is why I don't like that full opening. He's gonna crawl right in there on his own now. No problem whatsoever. Just like clockwork. Go right to his warm area. It should be a little bit cool because of the water. Shut that. Push that in. Drop a lock in there. Even if we don't lock it, it's just to visually see that this cannot open. Even if I pull that here, this can't slide open. That's all I want that in there for. And our snake is in there. Cage looks a lot better. Well, so we do a full clean. What all we do is we throw away all the litter. We, take everything out, inspect it, clean what needs clean, throw away the litter, clean the water dish, redo the water. We're gonna have silence now. When they wet their tail, they can't make noise as much. Hear that? He's still shaking, but nothing, because he dunked it. So, kind of funny. Anyway, we also freshen it, moisten it, just kind of redo everything. We clean all the glass so the glass looks nice and clean. We do everything when that snake's out, so we're not having to take it out and put it in as much. It's safer for them, it's safer for us as a keeper. So when you do get the snake out, if for any reason that snake comes out, I'm going to service that cage. It's just a smart practice of doing things. Kurt, anything you want to add?
Why is his rattle so small?
So one of the detriments to him being wild caught is when we got him, his rattle was pretty beat up. I mean, it had a lot of links to it, but there's a lot of cracks in it, and there's just like fingernail type material, so there's no nerve endings in there. And then with our cage, we keep a good amount of clutter in there, which does make him hard to get out. He'll get in there and hold on to his stuff. But we got the wood, we got the hide, we got the rock, we got the deer antlers. He'll bang that around on there. He can break stuff on it. He can bust his own rattle, and it just kind of gets beat up over time. And he recently broke a big chunk of it off, something kind of like this, and when I find big chunks, I tend to save them. And so, when they do that, it doesn't hurt them. You can see it's just all hollow, no big deal, It'll grow back, but it grows back at one piece every time they shed. So when he sheds this next set of skin, if you look close, you can actually kind of see it in there as it's getting ready to come out. There will be a new link that'll then start rattling. And what I mean is it looks like there's a link there that's kind of just covered in that skin. That's it. That's going to be his new piece. So that's going to be working here soon. And then the next time he sheds, he'll get a new one. So a young snake will grow a rattle really fast because it will shed quite a bit. An older snake may not shed as much, and therefore its rattle won't grow as long as quick. And the idea of they get one button a year is totally bullshit. It's one button per shed. So there is that. Anything else?
But if they only shed once a year, it'd be one a year.
If they only shed once a year, it'd be one a year, yes. But most of them are going to shed more than that, more frequently, especially when they're young. Since that was a question he's just trolling me with, Kevin, this is your first time getting to play with these guys at all. What did you think, or any questions?
Well, no, I like, your setup is nice. I've dealt with a few baby rattlesnakes.
Right.
When I was in the military, so it's been a few years.
Been a while.
Just a while, yeah. But he's a gorgeous snake.
Oh, yeah. When he sheds, he'll look even better. The silver on these guys is just amazing when they first shed. This is still one of my favorite species of rattlesnake. The way their scales look, they have a keel to them, and there's almost like a leaf type scale. They'll overlap. It's really, really nice. The copper colored stripe down him is really nice. It'll be much more vibrant post shed. And I love how the tails have that fade to black. For me, they're the epitome of the rattlesnake. They're not the biggest. They're not the most deadly. Everybody wants the biggest and the baddest, which would be usually your eastern or your western, or they want the most deadly, which is your green Mojave. And these guys, not being that, don't always get the love, but they are a very, very cool and very, very American story. These snakes are. So, in more ways than one. We've almost eradicated them from a lot
Now,
of places.
your reds here.
Yes. There's
They're
2 of them in there.
Timbers.
No, these are westerns.
They're western.
So the only timber I have is this one. Everything else in here, that's a rattlesnake, well, not everything. So basically what we have is, we have the timber, we have albino western, the red westerns, we have a hypermelanistic western, and then we have a purple haze western, which is a genetic combo. And then we have a prairie and a Massey rattlesnake also in here. So we have 4 species, 5 actually, because I have the banded rocks in there. So we have 5 separate species of rattlesnake that we keep. Most of them are 1 or 2 examples, with the one exception being my westerns, where I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 examples. So, which is actually all that one person's allowed to have. So Kurt can have 5 too, though. So it's, each person can have 5. Anything else? That's here. It's a here thing, not everywhere thing.
Right.
Any other questions?
No, actually. Then you've got your gaboon and your rhino in.
Yes, in there.
there.
Well, actually, the gaboon
Babies.
moved in here.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, the gaboon's up there now.
Okay.
The rhino's still in there with the bandits. So I got crap everywhere. And Kurt keeps saying we need a cobra, but he's going to probably be waiting for a while on that. So
Yeah, I think I would.
yeah, me too. That's not my bag right now. And maybe someday. You never know. The bug may bite me. That's never a good term to use when working with
No.
venomous snakes. I may get the itch. That's probably a better term.
Yeah.
Kurt, anything else you want to add?
No.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. That's all I got. We'll see you next time.